Companies will often invest in project management software in order to rectify difficulties they're having with meeting their clients' on-site dates. To this end, managing all of the tasks on a project is essential. In Crow's Nest software, tasks are introduced into the system under the Task Definitions area, and there are 5 types of tasks that can be entered. Project tasks are tasks that are associated with the project as a whole, generally completed by front office personnel. Work order tasks are specific for each work order entered and tracked inside of Crow's Nest, and generally assigned to shop personnel. However, individuals that work with work orders, such as engineers and project managers, are also assigned work order tasks as well. Tasks can also be assigned in conjunction with each project's shop drawings, as well as activities involving businesses and contacts that you deal with on each project. In this video, we're going to spend time talking about project-oriented tasks, but the concepts shown here apply just the same for all Crow's Nest types of tasks. Taking a closer look at the elements of a task, first, there is no limit to the quantity of tasks that can be entered. Tasks may also be pre-assigned to an employee, as may be seen here, whereas this task is being assigned to the employee Danny. For even greater flexibility, tasks may be assigned to a project role, such as the role of estimator. On each project, roles are assigned to employees, and all tasks that are assigned to each role will be redirected to that project's role assignment. In this example, we are assigning the project role of estimator to this task. As beneficial as it is for each employee to be made aware of the tasks that they have been assigned, completing assigned tasks on schedule is essential in meeting your clients' on-site dates. Crow's Nest tasks have a start date and a due date, based on a formula making each task dynamic with automatic real-time updating to reflect ongoing project changes as they occur. The last task element to cover is how and when tasks are introduced into a Crow's Nest project. The first way is by completing a task. Each task may be set up such that when completed, it will then trigger the next task or set of tasks. In this example, we will see that the task submit a sample by creating a material requisition, once completed, will then trigger these 3 additional tasks, which in turn will then trigger even further additional tasks. Thus, you will be creating a chain of events that will facilitate your ability to meet your customers' on-site dates. Changing the project status is the second way that tasks are entered into a project. Crow's Nest utilizes project statuses to indicate how far you have progressed on a project. As a project status is reached, certain tasks will become appropriate. These tasks will therefore be associated with their respective status and automatically entered when that status is invoked. You may create and name as many statuses as you would like. As an example, once the project has reached the active status, this set of tasks will automatically be entered into the project. To demonstrate the various task elements, let's take a look at some of the tasks that have already been introduced in the project before us. This is the Project Tasks tab view, showing the tasks that have already been assembled thus far on this project. Some of these tasks already have due dates calculated, whereas others do not. Some of these tasks already have employees that have been assigned, whereas others have not. The task date formulas are based on what we call milestone dates, as shown here. These milestone dates are user created, and as they pick up actual values, the respective task date formulas will kick in to automatically produce updated task start dates and/or task due dates. For example, entering a date for the user created bid due date will then produce the due dates for all the tasks tied to this particular milestone date. As you can see, all of these tasks that were tied to the bid due date have automatically been updated just by entering or updating the reference milestone date. Employee assignment by project role is also very simply accomplished by entering a role and then assigning the appropriate employee for that role on a project, as shown here. We will add the role estimator on this project, and then we will name Ben as the employee assigned to the role of estimator. As you can see, 4 tasks will be redirected from the generic state of project role to specifically assign to Ben. Looking back at this project's task, each task has now been updated and has an employee assignment. Now, let's assume that we have progressed on this project such that we can change the status to active, resulting in the triggering of all tasks that have been entered whenever we do reach the active status on this project. These are the same set of tasks that you saw earlier that will always be introduced when we enter the active status on this project. Doing a refresh, we can now see all the tasks that have been entered. Lastly, tasks may be set up to be triggered when a previous task has been completed. Simply check the Done box on a task to indicate its completion. In this example, we will complete the task, send out sub-requests, which will then trigger the sub-request follow-up task, which will be assigned to Ben. Staying with the Task tab view, up to now we have only been viewing those tasks which are incomplete. However, you may also use the Completed checkbox to show any of the tasks that have already been completed in addition to those that remain incomplete. This will enable you to keep your screen uncluttered, yet still retaining the ability to bring back those completed tasks when you need to look at them. Whereas this Task tab view is very useful for showing all of the assigned employees and their respective tasks related to a specific project, another view that might be very useful for your employees is the My Task view. The My Task view is a powerful and convenient way to prioritize each employee's work based on sorting their assigned task in due date order. A third view offered is called Task Overview, which gives management visibility of all tasks assigned to all employees for ongoing projects. But Task Overview can become even more useful by creating your own filters to display only the specific information you are seeking. As an example, maybe you want to look at all of the project level tasks that are open for just one employee. In this example, I am going to create a new filter to look at all of the tasks only assigned to one of our employees named Danny. So we will name this filter Danny's Tasks. And on Danny's task, we only want for the employee named Danny. And we want these to be sorted by task due date, ascending order. This filter limits the displayed tasks to only those assigned to Danny. Once saved and selected, we're able to look at all the projects and all of the incomplete tasks that have been assigned, in this case specifically to Danny. We can also look at task information in a different way using the timeline. In this example, we will look at another filter that has already been created called milling, which will give us a set of tasks grouped together displaying all of the open cutting, edge banding, finishing, assembling, and attaching hardware tasks. However, using the timeline view, we will now see the display against the calendar showing the start date and the due date against each project that these tasks have been assigned. So in summary, by creating a series of tasks, a chain of events will be created that will augment your success rate of keeping your projects on time, on budget, and most importantly, meeting your customers' on-site date requirements.